Hello and welcome to That Happens. Could not take your call. Please leave a message after the beep. When you are finished recording, you may not hang up or the message will be deleted. When you are finished recording, press 1 or the message will be deleted. Beep.
Hey, Spleen, this is Kevin here. Just wondering if you got a show for us tonight. Your fans are waiting for you. The people on Discord are really wanting to talk to you, and we got a lot of emails, so please get back to me as soon as you can because we're starting in a few minutes. Thanks. Beep.
Thank you for pressing 1. Please leave another message.
Okay. So let's see.
Please leave a third message.
Hey, Spleen, this is Kevin here. This is message number 3. Everyone's waiting for you. We're kind of late
Faster,
starting the show.
leave the message faster.
So yeah, please give me a call back as soon as we can. We're about to start in about 10 seconds, so call me back. Thanks.
All right, could you do it in a funny voice?
Hey there. I would.
Beep. All right, hey, what's up, guys? Sorry to interrupt you right when you actually settled on a funny voice, Kevin, but all right. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's happening. That's happening. And I just saw my Patreon Prime, my Patreon alert go off because Edward just sent the Patreon alert. Thanks, Edward. I was about to just do that live on the podcast. Now I don't have to. What's up, everybody? I danced today. That's right. Spencer Crittenden danced today. When is Spencer Crittenden? Hell yeah. That's what it's all about. Okay. So actually, okay. I like the energy. It's really good. I'm feeling it. Let's kill it. Let's just kill the energy because that's what it's all about. It's going too well. It's too easy. We can't have it this easy. I want to take a moment to apologize about the last episode. The episode wasn't bad. The episode was great. The problem with the episode is that on the episode, I said some stuff that was really bad because it was negative about the podcast. And I think I might have implied that the podcast was bad, when in fact, the podcast is good. And I'm good at doing the podcast. And it's funny because I'm good at doing it. So I'm sorry for implying otherwise. I'm pretty sure last week I may have implied otherwise. But I need to reaffirm the truth. The podcast is good. And I am good, and I am doing the podcast, and I am doing the podcast good because I am good at doing the podcast. Thank you. Okay, now it's time for the post-intro slump. What's up, Kevin? How's it going?
Good. Honestly, Spencer, I didn't know how to say it at the time, but like I went back, re-listened to last week's episode, and that was, probably one of the best podcast episodes I've ever heard. And I know how painful it was for you to do. But that was on a level that I have very rarely seen. That was this podcast, I think, coming into its own for real. And hey. I'm glad you did that, even though I'm sure it hurt.
Thanks. No, it was fine. I was happy to do it. I like doing it. That's really nice of you to say. I appreciate that very much. That's very kind and genuine and thoughtful and humble. And so let me respond by that to saying, I have a friend who also just lost his cat. And I'm kind of like, should I send him my podcast and be like, listen to this? Because it kind of seems like it might help. I don't know, but is it that arrogant, huh? After just what a nice thing you've said to me to be like, yeah, I know, man, I should be helping all these people. Like, insane. But no, thank you. But I don't know. Here's an interesting thing. I don't like causing people problems. So sometimes I think being emotional and crying can cause people problems. And in that sense, I don't like doing that. So sometimes when I'm in public, I don't like making an emotional scene if I can avoid it because I don't want to cause people problems. But in general, I would say I don't really have a problem like melting down in front of people. Like I don't, and I think I don't like, I don't know. I was talking to a friend and they were saying, like, it's a good thing or it's brave or it's honest or it's good or something. And it's like, I really think it's more like, I don't give a fuck about like this person. Like, what are they going to do? Be all like, oh, wow, that guy's crying. How embarrassing. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, like I would like I would kick that guy in the face in another, I could not care less, right? It doesn't feel like a virtue. It feels like I have such contempt for everyone in my vicinity that I could not possibly care what they thought of me, but who knows? Maybe that's the same thing. Who knows? But I just know that for me, I really wanted to get it out of my system. And like I said, I wish I kind of do it earlier, because I didn't feel like I did it like the best job telling the story in the best way that I could have. But that's fine. And I think it was cathartic for me and therapeutic and stuff. And I think it was helpful. I wasn't even trying to help anyone else, but listening back to it, I was like, oh yeah, I think this is pretty interesting. I think I did like say a lot of the stuff that I think about in terms of death and stuff, which I don't know. I do think I have good thoughts about death. Like, I think people think about the same general things, but I'm just great. So, maybe the way I talk about it is great or something. Who knows? Whatever. Enough, full issue. But yeah, no, it was, I really liked it. I, like I said, I didn't think it would be pleasant. And the show's supposed to at least be pleasant, but hey, whatever. Maybe that's valuable. But it wasn't supposed to be like a great episode. It just was where I was. I just wanted to get it out of my system. Like journaling or whatever.
I mean, I don't think every podcast has to be pleasant. Actually, yeah. I don't think every episode has to be roll on the floor laughing. Like, even if that's the overall gist that you were aiming for here. You can be vulnerable. We can have an episode that's serious, and that's great. If you can pull that off and people come back to hear more, I think you've succeeded.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even if they don't. I mean, I don't know. What is even success? Like, it's so hard to measure, because it's like, this is not, whatever. It's an interesting, it's a good podcast. So, okay. I had this sucks. This is like a really bad thing. Like, well, I wrote this note down that says Critical Role theme song parody, and I had the idea for a Critical Role theme song parody, but I can't remember what it was. The Critical Role has a theme song, and they go like, "It's Thursday night," and it has like crazy highfalutin production values and stuff. And I was like, it would be funny to do a parody where it was like for Harmontown, or not. This keeps happening. I keep calling this podcast Harmontown, and it sucks. And I don't know. I think it's closer to like calling your teacher mom or something. I don't know. It's just like, it's time for me to do podcasting. It feels like that's just, I call that Harmontown, It's like, it's so yeah. So not, anyway, that happens. So I thought it would be like, a version of That Happens. I don't remember the whole parody though, so it's bad to have written it down. Like, why take the note? Why didn't I just write down the whole idea, right? It's like a parody idea. But it was like, instead of Thursday night, it would be like, I guess it would be like, it's Sunday. Is it I mean, it's 5:40 here, so it's got to be like Sunday night, not like Sunday afternoon. So but Sunday afternoon is more funny, I guess, right? But it's like, it's Sunday afternoon, It's That Happens, and Kevin and Spencer and nobody else, I don't know, but like, just a really bad parody. But the thing is, if you could get the stems, all the good music, and it's all the soaring music, and then it's just me being like, not even trying to do, okay, so they're singing, which is like, you actually are like using your voice and not nasally and stuff. But then there's like talk singing, which is what I was kind of more doing, but you could just do it more talk singing like that. So it's like the high score is just me being like, it's Thursday night, and Kevin and Spencer are putting on a show for Schraub Home Video tonight. Oh, you get it, get Will Smith is coming out, so haha is going on tonight, or whatever. I don't know, Why did I write it down? Well, I wrote it down because I don't think I wanted to talk about it. I think I wanted to like come up with the idea. But now that I talked about it, why even bother, right?
It sounds like a slightly slower version of the Muppet Show theme song.
Oh, man. Did I write that down? I did. I wrote this down. Okay, Muppet Show. Okay, yeah. I don't know. What did the Muppet Show even sound like? Can you pull that up?
Yes, let me pull that up.
We're going to get sued. So I haven't had a recurring nightmare, but when I was a kid, I had a nightmare that was like so vivid. It's basically stuck with me my whole life. You finding it?
Yes, I got it now. Here we go.
And I never knew where the nightmare was from.
It's the Muppet Show with tonight's guest star, Mr. Joel Grey.
It's Thursday night. All you critters, come join us in time to continue our fight. Yeah, I hear it. No, I think it's, yeah, I get it. All right, we're gonna get sued by fucking Kermit.
I think Disney owns them now, so yeah, we gotta be careful.
Oh no. When I think of Jim Henson, I think of Jim Rash for some reason. Okay, Nightmare. And it was a nightmare where it was weird because it was a nightmare that was like very puppet-ish, but I didn't know what inspired it. It was like a thing where it was something that I saw in my dream where I was like, well, clearly this is from something I've seen, but I don't remember ever seeing anything like this. So what did I see to generate this as a dream image, right? So I was at my friend's house and we were watching a Muppet Christmas Carol, and you're seeing the ghosts of Christmas past or whatever. And I think like they're Statler and Waldorf, and like, I don't know if it's Statler or Waldorf, but he's like in a grandfather clock or something. And I was watching it and I was like, holy shit, this is my fucking nightmare. Because when I was a kid, I had a nightmare where basically all I remember is everything was black and there was like a spotlight on this really scary grandfather clock that had a face. And I guess, yeah, the face was like Statler or Waldorf, you know, not the guy with the squinty eyes, the other guy, the guy with the more long face. And his face was like coming out of the grandfather clock. And then, and so then the clock would strike midnight, and an arrow would shoot out of like where the cabinet with the pendulum is in the grandfather clock, and it would shoot and hit a different Muppet. I don't know what Muppet it was, in like the heart, and he would start bleeding and screaming, and then the clock would strike again and he'd shoot another arrow. And so this guy would just be pelting with arrows because it would be hit 12 times, you know, and then it would just be like horrible. But it was fucking Statler or Waldorf in the clock from fucking Christmas Carol. And I was like, holy shit. And then I just realized that like my whole life I'd like had a real aversion to that movie, and I never know why. I was just like, I don't want to watch that fucking movie. Like, I don't know why, but I must have seen it and like had some sort of subconscious connection. So that's fun. Yeah, man, my notes aren't going to be as interesting as I thought they were. Well, who knows? Okay, here's the thing. Last week, we talked about Willy Wonka D&D campaign being in my notes, and I was like, what the fuck did this mean? But the thing is, I forgot because, you know, my cat died and stuff. But there was that, do you remember that Glasgow Willy Wonka event? That's what the note was about.
Yes, I do. That was crazy.
Yeah, so in Glasgow, there's this community center which is known for being associated with a lot of fraud and scams and stuff. And they hosted you guys all know the story, but hey, I got to talk about it. I'm looking at this clock. It says 57 minutes, you know? They put it on, they used AI to generate the advertisements to make it look like it was crazy and interesting. But what it was is like an empty warehouse space where they put up a couple curtains and had like maybe 7 props total or something that they brought in, and it looked like garbage, and it was supposed to be Willy Wonka, and they had like a printed out like one of the images from the AI image generation that they were using for marketing. They just had it up on the wall and it just looked like ass. It was all great. And there was the Oompa Loompa lady, and she was in the picture and she looked all crazy. And then there was the Willy Wonka guy, and he was being Willy Wonka. He was taking everyone through, and AI generated the script. ChatGPT generated the script, Kevin. That's why we got to talk about it on the show, because it's all AI. They generated the script, and so it's like a 4-page script. The whole experience is like 2 minutes long. It's like fucking insane. And the script is written by AI, so it takes a lot of liberties with how much people are enjoying itself, because the script is like, and then everyone fucking loves this shit, and you start blowing candy bubbles, and people start eating the candy bubbles, and it's like, yeah, but you're just an AI. We actually have to do this. Candy bubbles, that doesn't exist, like, so the AI is like, it'll be great, and everyone will be screaming and going nuts, and it's like, we're in a warehouse, buddy. This whole shit sucks. Like, you don't know what's going on. So in the storyline of the script, there was an evil chocolate maker named the Unknown who lived within the walls. And I don't know. The script actually came out and people have found it and read it, but I never bothered reading it. But the Unknown was played by this like 16-year-old black girl who had like long hair and this silver mirrored mask over her face, and she was hiding behind a mirror and popped out and started like behaving erratically. And in all these viral videos, there's kids being upset by the Unknown popping out. And it's just really good. And man, the Unknown is great. And so then on TikTok, it was all going viral and stuff. And then all the players involved were like, hey, we can now go viral. And so then the Willy Wonka guy was going viral, and he's like, I didn't know what was going on. This shit was nuts. I just showed up and I was like, I'm an actor. And they're like, here's a stupid warehouse. And I was like, I guess, I mean, let me act, And then someone else was like, that guy, that Willy Wonka guy, he sleeps with 16-year-olds. He's a bad guy. And so that guy got canceled. And then the Oompa Loompa lady looked bad, but it turned out at the beginning of the day she looked different. And so there's pictures of before and after. She looks really frazzled in the pictures. She looks high, like she's working a meth lab. And she was doing interviews, and then the Unknown was doing interviews, and then the Unknown got a cameo, and then the Oompa Loompa girl got a cameo, and everybody's having a great time, and everybody's canceled, and it's all crazy. It's all fucking. So we got to do a D&D adventure based on it, where the Unknown, you got to defeat the Unknown or something. I don't know. Something.
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually. Even just
yeah.
Willy Wonka to start with is a great setting, but add in all these crazy twists and just make it laughably bad.
Yeah. The Unknown.
I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah, like Axon Spark says, Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory would make a great dungeon setting. I think it would. Especially, that's actually, I wish I stopped doing my Patreon. I got to do more Patreon stuff. It's just hard. I hate myself. It's good. It's good, and I'm good, and everything's good, and there's no problems, and problems don't exist. That's healthy, right? But it would be a cool module to have like a Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory inspired D&D module, where there was just this guy who's like an elf or something. He's like, hey, come along, children. And then he's like kicking people into the chocolate fountain. He's like, oh, gluttony was his revenge. And so he learned his way. And it's like, no, you kicked him into the chocolate fountain. And he's like, come along, children. He's just acting all crazy and trying to kill people in his chocolate factory. I think that's a pretty good D&D module. I think that could be a lot of fun. Okay, so Fluffy Matt, it's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to meet the Spencer for That Happens show tonight. Time to talk depression. It's time for topics heavy and light. It's time to do the do on That Happens show tonight. That's fun. Okay, thanks for the chats from the good Discord. Oh boy, man, I thought some of this shit would last longer. We do not have. We're gonna need to bust into these cosmonaut tubes, buddy. What else? Okay. I don't even know. I don't even know how to get into this. TikTok's doing stuff. I don't know. This isn't exactly like a famous thing people are saying on TikTok, but I post a lot of TikTok comments, and some of them get a lot of likes or whatever. Not like that many or whatever, but sometimes you get a lot of likes and you're like, haha, my comment was good. And I posted on a comment, there's this guy who's on TikTok, and he's a Japanese cotton candy artist, and he's teaching his kids to make cotton candy too. So a lot of the videos are his kids taking turns making cotton candy, and then he makes cotton candy, or one of the kids makes a bigger cotton candy at the end or whatever. And then there's one video where at the very end, the kid's like, as he's just goofing around, and he like has his eyes roll back in his head and he looks all crazy. And then it's just like the very end of the video right before it cuts. And so it just cuts off like that. And so I commented, Blood's eyes at the end got me. Blood with a U, because you know what we learned about in the past about TikTok, you could call people blood. And I wrote Blood's eyes at the end got me, and then 2 emojis, and it got a lot of likes. And I was like, that should be a thing people say on TikTok. Blood's eyes at the end got me. I think that could be a cool TikTok thing to say. This podcast is really good, and I'm good at doing it. Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ, is this good? Holy shit. Okay, Blood's Eyes at the end got me. Have you heard Goose's Parable?
I don't think so.
Goose's Parable of the Sand Dune and the Rich Folk?
No.
You haven't heard about this?
No, I have not. Fill me in.
Okay, so one day there's a bunch of rich folk. It's a parable. Goose's Parable. One day there's a bunch of rich folk. And they wanted to live on the coast. But the thing about the coast is erosion. And so you build on the coast and your house gets eaten by the ocean. But the rich folk don't care because they want to live on the coast. And so they build on the coast. And then the ocean does start to eat their houses. And they're like, shit, dude, this sucks. We got to figure this out. And someone's like, hey, well, maybe we can use science to figure out what we should do. And someone's like, no, we're rich. What we shall do is spend $150,000 or $1 million. I can't remember which. I want to say $150 million on a giant sand dune. And we will put it in front of our houses. And the sand dune will protect our houses forever. And then erosion will not eat our houses. And we will maintain richness and rich coastal homes. And then 2 days later, the sand dune washed away because science was not consulted. And so the moral of the story is don't spend $150 million on a sand dune if science says that's not a good way to solve that problem.
That's
Did you hear about that in the news?
No, I had not.
This happened really recently.
Okay.
It's a Goose's Parable. I like to call it. I love myself and I'm good. It's been hard, man. I hate I've been having a hard time. I don't know. Lately I've been numb, Okay. I've been numb. I've been feeling better in the way that makes you feel worse. I'm fine. Don't call anyone. Don't worry. I'm fine. But there's a thing where people get really depressed, abject depressed, and they don't kill themselves until they feel a little bit better because they need that level of energy and motivation to actually do it. When they're destitute, it's kind of like being crushed under a rock. It's you can't kill yourself when you're crushed under a rock. You can't move, So I'm feeling better in a way that's kind of worrying. And again, it's not that it's fine. It's just when I'm depressed, I'm oh, this feels more reckless and unstable than when I'm just have been just so drained and defeated before. And it's ooh, I don't like this at all. And yeah, it just sucks. And I feel really alone. And yeah, because Jason made me feel not alone. She was one of the only things that I did. And I felt alone my whole life. And I always feel alone, and it sucks. And even now, and even in the past, when I've had people around me, I've still felt really alone. And that's its own feeling of alone. That's a whole different feeling of alone when you're surrounded by people and you're still alone. And it's just not good. I feel really out of sync with people, Kevin. Does that make sense? We talked about yesterday the idea about oh, I'm going to get out of someone's way and get back into your way. And they're oh, I'm going to go this way to get around you. And they go that. And you keep, it's you're out of sync with people. I feel like that. I feel like I've been like that my whole life. But I feel like that lately. It's just bad. And you want to just get mad at people, but it's it's not their fault. You're just not on the same clock, It's it's just not. No one's trying to do anything. And if anything, I could probably try to do different things to resync myself or something, but I can't do that either. It's just it's just really frustrating. It sucks. And especially when I'm feeling alone and really depressed and pissed. It's God damn, it would be nice to do more. I am connecting to people and talking to people and stuff. Don't get me wrong. There are people. It's been going okay, but it's going the same way it always goes, which is for me, it's just okay, remember at the top of the show, I talked about I don't care if people see me crying. Similarly, I don't really think I care who I vent to. I'll just talk to whoever I'm talking to about whatever I'm talking to. I'll just be talking to you about whatever, Kevin, and then I'll just dump something on you, or I'll just dump something on you out of nowhere or whatever. But it's just I'll do that. But I do that to other people too. Even people I'm not very close to. If someone texts me randomly, I'll be yeah, okay. my cat died or whatever. I mean, I haven't done that, but something like that where I'll just like whatever, and then it'll just spew it on people and be like, better out than in, like The Exorcist. Like I'm just vomiting demons on someone. I have no problem doing that to anybody, because to me it's just like, get this out. It's not like I'm telling someone because like, oh, I really need this person to hear it. Although it's part of it. It's like I want to be heard and stuff, but it's just like I kind of also just need it out of me. Anyway, I don't even know how I got on that trained up. So I'm getting a tech message that Zoom just popped up saying my subscription expired. So I don't know what that means. It might mean that we have a time limit. Like it might say we're running out of time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's never done this.
Left in your free session. Yeah,
it's never done this to me before.
That's never happened to me. It's just you're so beautiful. Let's see. Okay, so all right. This is like a weird. It's like I don't know how to talk about it. It's that's a weird way to set it up. It's good. Everything's good. Are you familiar with Art Bell, Kevin?
A little bit. I used to really be into him a long time ago, and then I kind of feel like he got a little crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So there's this guy. He's a radio host. His name's Art Bell. He's dead now. He had a show on AM radio called Coast to Coast. He lived in Pahrump, Nevada, where my grandma owned a hostel. I wish I knew it. I visited my grandma one time where he was probably living there. I probably could have like gone and seen him or something, or I don't know, whatever. I don't know if he would have been public, but gone and seen the radio or something. I don't know. But he hosts a paranormal radio show that would always air pretty late night, and it would come in like everywhere carried it. So if you were driving really late night for a long stretch, a couple decades, I want to say, you'd be able to tune in to Art Bell and get it clear if nothing else was coming in, and he'd just be talking to crazy people about aliens and demons and people who say they got abducted and people say they I don't know, different stuff. And it was really interesting. He's clearly a really charming, interesting, relatively intellectual guy. He's like seemingly a conservative Christian with a military background. Definitely seemed like a decent guy, someone who is paranoid of the government, paranoid of overreach. He liked gun rights, he liked property rights, etc. What else? His show is really interesting. He wasn't a complete fool, but he did seem really credulous. Although, he would call people out on certain bullshit. But there was a lot of things where, you get the sense someone was probably lying, and he would be really on the hook. And he would just sound very on the hook. He would be like, amazing. And other times he'd also be like really smug. Like someone would be talking about like, yeah, I mean, the government, they took away my artifact or something, and he'd be like, well, of course you're on a list now, buddy. You better make a note of who you're calling, and it's just like, not only am I so sure you're telling the truth, but not only that, I know more than you, and I'm going to tell you what you're in for. This is someone who's almost certainly bipolar or lying or something, schizophrenic, I don't know. But so just a really interesting guy. When we would go, in my past, we would sometimes listen to him. There was a time later on when I was more teenage, kind of like the independent car years, where I would sometimes listen to Art Bell a little bit. And then about that time, I think you could kind of get it somehow on the internet or something. So I think I would listen to it a tiny bit. But yeah, so I've been working on this project that's kind of based on Art Bell, and it's a little bit based on Joe Rogan too, because I think there's kind of some shared DNA with Joe Rogan, where Joe Rogan's deal is he kind of like talks to other people that are talking about crazy shit, and he's palatable to listen to, and by extension makes other people palatable. And then they also just have this kind of rhythm and this way they talk, this Jordan Peterson kind of psychobabbled nonsense talk that Joe Rogan talks about and his guests talk about, that Art Bell talks like that and his guests talk like that. And it's like, when did this all start? Because like, it feels like if it didn't start with Art Bell or somewhere else that was similar like him in talk radio, it was something like that. But it's like, it started being this way to talk and this way of paranoid thinking. And I don't know. Okay. So I was listening to this episode of Dakota Ring that you should check out. It's about Sherlock. But the thing I want to talk about is, basically, when Sherlock was contemporaneous, those books were coming out, people as a hobby would like write kind of fan fiction speculating about Sherlock as if he was a real person. Like they would say stuff like, you know, this isn't what they would say, but it would be something like, I saw Sherlock at the grocery store. He bought bananas and pears. Clearly this man has an exotic palate or something. They would like be like discussing kind of, I feel like this was like Reddit discussion posts of their day, but it had to be more poetic because you couldn't just say like, hey, I think Sherlock's a cool guy, you know, on the town square. So they had to like, you know, make it artful or something, but they were basically discussing Sherlock books by treating him as a real person and writing about him and writing qualitatively about him, saying he's like this or he's like that or whatever. And this was a thing people did, and they would treat it like it was real, and they would talk about it like it was real, and other people would think it was real because they would hear him talking about it and they wouldn't be in on the joke, and so they would think it was real. And so it was just this way, it was like a game of talking about fake stuff like it was real. And, you know, role playing is like that too. And it just like listening to the Art Bell show, it kind of felt like that too, where it's like, I wonder if there's people that are like this. And certainly some of the liars are like this, where they're just trying to fool the host. But like, I wonder if there's people who are like, what I am doing is an intellectual game where someone says something and I'm like trying to intellectually outmaneuver them or add on to what they're saying. So someone calls in about saying that they heard a mysterious signal, and then you might call in and say like, well, a mysterious signal is pretty impossible given that you're in Alaska, which is a radio dead zone, you know, or whatever. And then, or someone else is like, well, you know, a radio signal that could have pinged off of a government satellite dish, you know, and then so like that would be a refutation versus a yes anding. But either way, it's like this intellectual gamesmanship. And I don't know, that feels very much how Joe Rogan talks and how they talk about those subjects and how Jordan Peterson talks. It's like this intellectual like way of framing and reorienting. It's like this kind of debating sport. It also reminds me of this Herman Hesse book called The Glass Bead Game, which talked about the intellectual game where people would kind of, I don't know, it almost made it sound like it was tweeting, where they would draw connections between like common pop culture things and historical things and religious things and musical themes and sub themes. And like, but it just felt like a way of like coalescing pop cultural ideas with modern themes, which felt very meme like to me. I don't know, but it all feels like this weird pursuit that's hypnotic, and it creates its own, it's a means to its own ends. And as someone who is listening to this while going through a really painful situation, it became really clear that you can be in the pits of pain. I could be sobbing and you could get a stray thought and it just knocks it out of you, and you're not sobbing, you're not sad. And sometimes you're mad and sometimes you're happy and sometimes you're just stuck on something. And the way that Art Bell talks, and I think maybe the way that all of these people talk, it really knocks you out of whatever you're thinking about. But it doesn't knock you into what they're talking about, because they're not fucking talking about anything. But they might be talking about something that reminds you of something that's like what they're talking about. And then you can think about that and you associate it with it. You think they're talking about that, but you're not. And then you're having a thought that might be smart, and it sounds like they're talking about something smart, but they're not. They're saying stupid stuff and you're having thoughts. But now you're feeling better and you're having a weird thought. And sometimes if they're talking about it's the government's fault or it's this person's fault or it's cancel culture's fault, then you're like, now I'm mad instead of being sad and crying, and I'm mad about cancel culture or whatever. And so now I'm sucked in, and now I'm ruminating and being mad at something, and I'm externalizing this pain. And so now it's getting kind of addicted. Now I can be pulled away from my pain into this weird circular nonsense going nowhere externalization of my pain and anger. And isn't that interesting? And isn't that addictive? And don't I want to hear more of that? And wouldn't you want to hear, 4-hour episodes of rambling, because you just need that to keep that happening to you. And I don't know, it just felt like it really cracked a lot of open for me in terms of like how Republican rhetoric operates and stuff. And I don't even know if this it makes sense or whatever, but it all felt like it was part of this continuum that like laid itself open before me. I don't know. It was very interesting. And it just struck me that like, there's not really stuff like that on the left. And it would be nice if there was something like that. But the thing is, on the right, what it is it's superstition and nonsense. It's weakening people's minds with confusion and suspicion and hatred and paranormal and a bunch of random stuff and grays and aliens and conspiracies. And then, assuaging that nonsense that hell you're creating in their minds. You're calming them down after conjuring those demons, but I wonder if there's a way to like use some of that in a not dangerous way or something, because like, I think the power of positive thinking is kind of magical, and meditation is magical, and intention is magical, and it's very similar. to how they're using their power of mental thinking to enact change, but they're just using it through hate mongering. So I wonder if there's like ways we can use these similar like hypnotic patterns and systems of reorienting thought and intention and beliefs in ways that don't weaken our brains, but allowed us to unlock this kind of group think, non-think group belief system consciousness that does seem to be very group motivating and powerful, but is not magic in any way and is not, whatever. And I don't know. I've been trying to think, maybe it's like, because I was just thinking about that. It's like, that's like, okay, I guess it's time to start a cult, right? But it's like, well, it's not a cult. It's like, what is it? Because it's like, you have to make whatever this is be like a cult, but not be able to not become a cult because you need it to not be co-opted. Because again, that's what happens on the right. It's just, it all fulfills the right's needs if they get co-opted. So it's like, I don't know, what I landed on is you have something and it's the plan. And the idea is it's the plan because we all agree with the plan and we want to enact the plan because we're all on the same team and we want to see things happen. And so the plan might need to be changed and the rules of the plan might need to be changed, but they changed because it's the plan. Like the meaning of the plan doesn't change. And it's like what it is, it's about like creating useful communities, third spaces, mental bastions of liberalism and mental fortitude and culture and helping and mutual aid and stuff. But it's just like a way to like create like this kind of, these pockets of community in a way that's like bubbling and self-sustaining and maybe even monetary. But like the right is, it's just not co-optable. And I don't know if that's possible because maybe the reason it works on the right is because it's so predatory. Like maybe you can't do like an actual fair version of that. I don't know, but that's the idea, is that it's like if you stage it as a plan, then it's like, okay, so we can change it as needed. It's not about a figurehead. It's not about a cult. It's not about someone who can interpret the plan perfectly. Everybody can read the plan. It's the plan. And if someone is like, no, we should change this part of the plan, it's not making sense, you could change it. But at the same time, it's like, well, we should change this part of the plan. It's like, well, I don't know. The plan kind of falls apart if you change this part. It seems like you're changing this part because you want to seize power, and it would give you more power if you change this plan, or something like that. It's like, that's the idea. It's like a way that you can make it change and not make it beholden to the way it was without making it easy to hijack, if that makes sense. And then, then it's like, then the other idea is just community. It's like an expandable community that can become like political action groups or something. I don't know. That makes it sound like I've actually thought about it. It's more like I've just basically said everything I just said in my head one other time. And now I'm done. What do you think of that, Kevin?
Okay, there's a lot to unpack, but I think you're right. I mean, I think I've noticed for a long time, I don't think this is any big revelation, but the mannerisms and the speech patterns and the motivations behind people like Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson and Alex Jones and those kind of people have very strong parallels to the fire and brimstone preachers and things like that, where they're presenting so many things to you so quickly that you can't process one thing before you've moved on to the next.
Yeah.
And, kind of like, if you buy the premise, you buy the whole bit. So if you're already agreeing with some of the things that they're saying and you don't have time to process every single thing that they're making you outraged about,
right. Mm-hmm.
It's just, it becomes overwhelming and you believe it.
And then you start to default to them as a personality, because then you're just like, you go, okay, well, he's saying it, I'm good, and then if someone says he's stupid, then I'm under attack, even though I don't really have a lot of access to what he's talking about because I don't really connect to it. I connect to him as a person. Sorry, go ahead. I kind of cut you off a little bit.
No, that's a better way of saying what I was trying to say. It's and I'm not trying to just single them out. I'm just like, they're probably the people that I think of most that do this sort of thing, though, where when I listen to them, even if I am disagreeing with them fully on everything they're saying, I find myself getting sucked into going, okay, well, I don't have time to refute that, so I'll take that on faith. And then
right, exactly.
I start finding myself agreeing with things they're saying until I'm like, wait a minute, I don't agree with any of this. And
yeah, I think that's called gish galloping. Go ahead.
Yes, exactly. And where they're just throwing so many arguments at you that you can't possibly defend against, that it's just, I've watched people doing the dish galloping thing in debates and stuff like that, where just like you can't refute things faster than they can lie.
Yeah.
And
that's the same way these people talk about aliens and shit. It's the same fucking thing. That's what's so weird, because there's no obvious political angle to it, but it's the same. It sounds exactly the same. You know, it's so strange. It's like looking into like the present in the past. It's like, I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know. I kind of, you got any more? I kind of, yeah.
No, it's you're absolutely right. I think part of it is, you know, dissatisfaction with society or government or their position in life or things like that.
Yeah, pain.
And the world makes more sense if it's rigged and it's unfair,
Right.
and the government's lying to you and aliens are real. And, you know, that's a more palatable excuse, not excuse, but that's a more palatable reason than this is just what life is.
Yeah. I mean, I think this was a pocket rant I've had before, that I think like, it's like, you know, people personify things because it's easy to understand something as a version of yourself, you know, like, oh, the rain is mad at me. It's like, no, it's not, but it's easier to think of someone being mad at you than it is to understand how precipitation functions, you know. And so I think similarly, that's how we create gods, is like, oh, if someone did everything right, that would be a god. It's like a perfect person, you know. And so similarly, I think it's like, I totally lost my train of thought. What were you just saying? Maybe I can connect it back again.
No, just like,
I gotta stop smoking weed. Go ahead.
Believing things like this is sometimes a more palatable solution than what reality
so
is.
instead of believing the the complexity of reality, which is bad things happen for no reason, you know, it's personifying bad things, is saying, oh, bad things happen because there's a guy I'm mad at, you know. So it's like, it feels like that same kind of you know, trick. And then also what you're talking about is like demagoguery, like the people that talk like that and can do that and make you think like that, like those are people that are good at swaying people. That's demagogues. It's a very dangerous power, because those people are almost always fascists, because, you know, they get that ability by manipulating people, and they they keep doing it. You know, they manipulate people. I just smoked weed, if you're listening to the podcast. And if you watch this on the video, you could have seen it happen. But the podcast is good, and it's not my fault. And Abed is free to come on. You want to send Abed an Abed link?
Yes, I will do that right now.
An Abed link. So we got to get Abed a special Abed link. Does that make sense?
It does.
Maybe he'll explain it to us if it doesn't.
We should just always have Abed on standby.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm high, but if you move your mouse really fast, it gets really big, Kevin.
It does.
I got a giant fucking mouse right now. All right, so we're going to wait for Abed to get here, but we are going to look at some emails, and we have 16 emails right now. Kevin, can you play the sound effect?
Ha ha ha.
Thank you, Kevin. Ronald writes, Kevin Day, there are two theories. The first theory is just a Reddit post from two theories that I swiped with the conclusion that perhaps Matt and Trey had a cold. Oh, so there's theories about this. South Park characters with different voices.
Really?
So I know there's been counts of this season. Two, they sound deep. Oh, this is like a specific part of South Park.
Okay.
I don't know when this would have been. It looks like it's pretty late in the season, so it probably doesn't. But it just says they had a cold. So he's thinking maybe you saw an episode where they had a cold. The second is a much longer explanation in my first impression of what you're talking about. Perhaps during the run of the first season of South Park, you saw the first video. Yeah. So do you remember the animated short that was like a viral tape?
Yes.
I think his theory is that you saw that. And that's what you're thinking of in voices. Go ahead.
No, but I did, because I worked at Midway Games at the time, and they used the Mortal Kombat theme song for that. There was this whole
Wow.
should we sue them or should we embrace this? So we all were passing copies of that around at the time. But no, this was like third, fourth, fifth season of South. And just to explain to people who don't maybe missed the previous.
Yeah,
episode,
we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Go ahead.
I felt like one day I just woke up and then all the voices in South Park were different. Like, I don't know if I had an aneurysm. I don't know what's wrong with my brain, but all of a sudden it just felt wrong. Like, I listened to, and then I could go back and play back old episodes and they felt wrong. Even to this day, if I listen to South Park, it sounds like somebody else doing the voices. And I've never had that happen with any other show. I have no explanation. I know it's not true. I know that is absolutely not true, but it's just something in my brain. And there's something specific to me about voices that I have a lot of skill with, I think, where I can tell you at any moment who's voicing what cartoon character. I can hear, a person on a phone say a syllable and tell you who they are if I've ever heard them talk years before. So I just think there's some weird aspect to my brain that just glitched out a little bit in terms of South Park voices. But
yeah,
I'm open to theories if that's not what it is.
Yeah, I think that's the most likely, but yeah. Dream interpretations. Jesus fucked a mermaid. Excuse me. I'm drinking Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar, which is different than Dr. Pepper Diet. I think it's maybe a little better. I don't know. They kind of both taste pretty good, though. Spencer, maybe this one will be worth your time. I had a dream last year that was funny enough for me to write down. Here goes. I found myself buying dinner for a detective that in our decades-long cat and mouse game thinks they've finally apprehended me and was being treated to a fancy dinner as a gesture of my equanimity. We had a cordial Holmes and Moriarty thing going on, it seemed. It was to be his triumphant final encounter in the final act of some grand melodrama. He selected the lobster, which was remarkably expensive. I began to feel anxiety about the price at that moment, and I sensed that he was pulling some kind of power move. He even had the gall to wonder aloud why it was priced so high after giving his order, smirking at me. I got so pissed off. So with an air of great authority, I informed him that it came from an ancient line of lobsters that can trace its lineage back to when Jesus Christ fucked a mermaid. I felt the sense of triumph and then proceeded to tell him about recent diplomatic connections that would make my arrest quite impossible. At that point, I woke up from laughing. I very rarely dream so intricately or vividly and felt the need to share. I can't imagine what it means, so good fucking luck, buddy. If you read this out, I prefer to remain anonymous. I don't think I said anyone's name, so we're good there. All right. We got Abed in the house. What's up, Abed?
Abed, I'm returning this to your hand.
What's up in the house? How's it going?
Are you playing Magic?
Oops, yeah. But I can do both.
Who's winning?
Aaron and Savon are killing me. My deck
You're
sucks.
playing three-way Magic?
Yeah, we're doing a new draft. Sorry, what?
Savon's winning.
Yeah.
Did you start playing before or after offering to hop on?
Well, I was
Well before.
No, listen. There's something funny. The last 2 weeks, I told you guys I was available, and then you guys put me on. So I made.
Yeah, but just because you're available, it's not like beholden to. We don't have to have you on just because you're available, right? I mean, I want to do more Abed's Corner for sure, but I don't think we can't always, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, I just expected to be put on. I don't know why. Well, because last time you guys were talking about grief, and my uncle had just died, so I was wanting to get in.
When'd your uncle die? I'm sorry.
Last week, he had cancer, and
oh wow,
he's my middle name. That's him. I'm named after him. Yeah, so it was rough. He was a really nice guy. He was.
Your middle name's Uncle?
Sure. Uncle's my middle name.
That's interesting.
Your turn is still
on? No, it's my turn.
She's still going. My middle name's Terrell. That was his name, and he was my mom's favorite brother, and that's it. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to bum everyone out. But
what do you want to say about grief?
No, well, that was last week. I don't remember, but I have never seen you cry before, Spencer. So that was pretty touching.
Oh, great! Yeah, I'm glad it touched you.
Oh, that's great.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't crying for you. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad. Like, I don't even know what. Honestly, I don't know what it means that it touched you. Like, did it make you feel bad? Did it make you feel good? Like, how did it make you feel? Like, I don't know what that means. Like, I assume it's a good thing, but I don't know.
It's kind of like when you see Tom Cruise cry in Magnolia. Like, you're not used to seeing him cry. When he's going like this, Daddy, sort of like that. It was like kind of shocking. Yeah,
that almost sounds like it made you uncomfortable.
It did a little bit because I'm like,
yeah.
God, I've never heard him cry. This is serious.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You just
I was crying just today. You know, I just got my cat's ashes back today while I was streaming
I'm sorry,
live on
man.
Twitch.
I really feel bad. That's a great.
Hold on, check it out.
Opened them on Twitch.
Yeah.
You did like
Yeah, I opened the ashes on Twitch. I got a rare.
unboxing.
and unearning. It'd be an unearning.
Ooh.
Was it in an urn?
Well, speaking of unearning,
Is it a
here,
bag?
look, see.
Oh, that's
I got
that's
this flower
sweet.
arrangement, and
That's-
it's like this little wooden crate with a picture of her, and it says Jason,
I love
and
that.
it says 2006 to 2024. And I don't know if she was born in 2006. That's just a guess. But yeah, let me go put this down.
2006. Wait, but you haven't had her that long, right?
No, I got her in like 2008 or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But so right now I have her in
Yeah.
her. Wait, you can't see it. Hold on. So I bought her this like LA Dodgers chair, this little Dodgers chair, and so I have the flower arrangement with the urn in the in her chair.
So it's like the ghost is still there.
Yeah, she's like chilling in her chair. So she
Hey,
came
Kevin.
back.
Kevin, how are
What's
you?
up, Kevin? Yeah, how are you handling it?
I mean, I'm doing good. I'm touched for you both, though. You know, you both have had loss like this.
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean, Jason is just as important as my uncle because Jason was very close to him and like his best friend. And also, I didn't hang out with my uncle all the time, but he is a human, so I don't know who's worse.
Nobody's worse. It's not like a who is the grieviest. Like, that's
The grieviest. I'm the grieviest.
I'm the grievous. I'm the
My
grievous.
grief is a man.
I'm grieving. So Abed, it's Abed's corner. What's grinding your gears? What's on Abed's mind?
Grinding my gears. Oh,
I don't know.
uh,
You wanted to come on. What's up?
You know, it's crazy, Spencer, because most of my anger dissipates because of, remember that I told you about the artist way?
Huh? What?
the artist's way.
The artist way is that book that I studied with Mike and a bunch of people.
Okay. Yes.
But that book, and I still do them, I do morning pages. Every morning I write 3 pages, and it's anything in your head just to dump out anything. So all of my anger goes out the window in the morning, and the rest of the day I'm happy as a, what's the word, as a lark?
A clam.
Happy as a clam, yeah. So,
Clams are famously happy.
oh, I got something. I got something that's bugging me. What's this voice?
I
Is that-
don't know.
Yeah.
So,
Say, Abed, wait, Abed. In that voice, say, you know what's bugging me?
you know what's bugging me?
All right,
When
great.
I'm
That's awesome.
driving, and I stop at a stop sign. I won't do the words. I stop at a stop sign, and the motherfucker beeps. But he does that beep beep. You know that like beep beep, and it's like I'm at a stop sign. You fucking idiot! I can't fucking just go. I gotta stop first, then go, and then I pull over after because I want to give this guy a freaking mad mug look to be like,
Yeah.
fuck you, Mr. whoever this Armenian guy is. And like,
Sure.
not that I have anything against Armenians, Savon. But you know, he's Armenian, of course, because we're in Burbank. I also got my Serge Tankanian beard, so Armenians don't have to be offended.
Serge Tankanian a person I should know?
Tarkanian?
No, Tankian.
Tankian. Serge Tank from System of a Down.
Okay, gotcha.
I met him once. So anyway,
Cool.
I pull over to mean mug the dude, and he like, you know, clearly he's a coward. He speeds away because he's like, oh shit, I pissed that guy off. And then he
Yeah, no
almost
one likes a
hits
confrontation.
fucking child, like in that Betty Davis movie.
That's on you, buddy. You almost killed a child.
No, him. He sped away because he was scared of my mean mugging.
You provoked him.
All I did was pull over to mean mug. I wasn't like, I'm gonna mean mug so he kills a kid. Like I'm not that fucking like you know, I'm not crazy.
What is this?
Yeah. They're making fun of my choice of words over here.
Put it in a microwave. It's a mug cake.
It's like you're having the 3 of us on, Spencer, because you got.
It
like-
is like that.
Yeah, like I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. He shouldn't be doing this in the same room as us.
I asked first.
I killed you ages ago. I killed you.
You're not even playing?
She killed me. This deck sucks, dude. I always get.
All
the
right.
shittiest deck.
Abed, do you have any final thoughts? Well, what else? We gotta.
Oh, okay. Final thoughts. Well, should I promote something or wait?
Well, what did you have any more on the car accident?
No, that was it.
The dead child.
Well, can I say that, because I have these gripes, can I say something beautiful that I saw?
Yeah, no, whatever you want, man. It's your corner. Yeah.
Because I feel like we have enough anger in the world. Let's talk about beautiful things, right, Kevin? Kevin's like, he's like down. He's like, yeah.
I agree.
Kevin. Oh,
This is
okay.
for Kevin,
Good.
yeah.
Okay. Kevin agrees.
Anyway, I'm driving, and I hate driving. I'm like, life fucking. I'm so mad. What am I doing for money? No, life crazy. And then revealed too much there. And I'm driving, and then I see a mother and her daughter cross the street, and the mother kisses the daughter on the head, and it's so just nice and makes me feel good, and I have hope in humanity again. And like suddenly I don't hate children. Suddenly I don't hate mothers. It's like life is beautiful. I don't hate children or mothers. That was just a joke.
No, suddenly you didn't,
Yeah, it was like I was happy. I was doing fine. And that's my beautiful thought. So I gave you a mean one and a good one.
Yeah.
Right.
Which do you prefer?
Definitely the mean one is like
Oh.
way funnier. That's like everyone.
What do you think that tells us about society,
I'm an angry person. So I think
Right.
that's what it tells you. It tells you that I'm more driven by hate than love.
Do you ever think about working on your attitude? Because I was just thinking that, my cat died, and I was thinking that I was like, I got to work on my attitude. Do you ever think about that?
I for years was like the anger wasn't doing anything for me, and I felt like I was losing friends. So that whole writing morning pages is the cure. Because everyone that tells me to go to therapy, it pisses me off. It's like, never say that to someone who's depressed. You're going to make them so much more depressed. Because then it's like, I mean, A, I can't afford therapy. B, I'm not against it. I just don't have insurance or money. I would go to a therapist. So getting my anger out through these pages has been like therapeutic.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is really helpful. I think when you have thoughts and feelings inside your body, they don't have words to them, and they're a lot more powerful. And writing them down or talking about them, it turns them into words, and it makes them less powerful, or it makes you have more power over them because you can control the words more than you can control them when they're just feelings without words, if that makes sense.
There's another exercise that Julia Cameron, who wrote that book, teaches us. I sound like I'm in a cult. And so it's like you go through the morning pages, and then you highlight the negative stuff and also the stuff that's like goals and aspirations. So it's like when I read back and I highlight the negative stuff, I kind of go, oh my God, I'm not angry about that anymore. So it's like you realize that all you got to do is wait 5 minutes and you'll feel less angry.
Yeah, for sure. And also some of that is that kind of taps into a little bit of cognitive behavioral theory, which is in part about recognizing the patterns in your life and trying to disrupt them. So if you have a pattern of doing something, getting mad, then you can start by recognizing, oh, I do something and get mad. And then you start to go, oh, I'm doing something and I have a pattern of doing something and getting mad. And so then you try and stop it before you get mad. And that's kind of a piece of cognitive behavioral theory. And Abed's laughing. What are you laughing about? What?
You're trying to tell me I need therapy through your therapeutic advice here.
Oh, buddy, Abed, I think maybe you have a problem because I was just describing a scientific fact that I knew.
Savon made me say that.
Okay.
First of all, that wasn't for me. He said it, and I said
that's good because it's like that. If that's a natural defense mechanism, then yeah, I mean, I probably might. If that was something you thought, I might then go on to say, "Hey, man, I think you might need therapy." But I would never do that to you because I know how much it would frustrate you, right?
Well, can I ask you if I didn't say that? Would you have been like, "Bro, you need therapy"?
If you didn't say that, no, because I think it would be a really surprising interaction for you to just talk about cognitive behavioral therapy. You'd be like, are you saying I need therapy? It's like, nah, man, it's just because CBT is different than therapy. It's it's more like psychology or something. It's more like behavioral
wait, CBT
studies.
What is CBT?
Yeah, cognitive behavioral theory, CBT.
Oh
yeah.
I thought he said CBD.
Yeah, there's definitely therapists that use CBT, but it's different. It's not like talking. It's more like medicine, if that makes sense. And I'm
Are
not
you
recommending
in
that
therapy,
either. It's just different.
Spencer?
No, I did this thing called EMDR for a little bit, but I want to. I'm in the same boat as you. I would like to see a therapist, but it's just hard to like make it happen with.
Why don't
the
we go to
situation.
couples therapy?
Well, we don't need couples therapy, but both of us could access free resources if we wanted to get therapy. I don't know how, but maybe we could find them.
We could do a 2-for-1 and save money.
Yeah,
You know,
I
we should
wonder
do an
if we
episode-
could lie and say it's couples therapy, but just try and do 2 individual therapy sessions at the same time.
Hey,
That's
can
not
I
how couples
separate
therapy
this-
works at all. So I don't think it would work, but you know.
Did you just say couples therapy doesn't work at all?
No, I said that's not how it works.
Oh.
But I'll say it. Couples therapy doesn't work at all. I'll say it.
Isn't that like if you're in a relationship and she wants couples therapy, it's kind of like, are you trying to break up with me? It's like kind of like saying that we have a problem, and it kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, oftentimes it is saying you have a problem or admitting you have a problem.
But it's a bit like you're putting the cart before the horse because you're creating the problem by saying that.
Well, no. If there's a problem, you're not creating it by saying it. There's a problem, but you're saying it to
But
call
if
out there's
you-
a problem.
If you are having a problem, you're putting
Right.
the problem in like fast forward because it's doubling the problem.
That's like saying going to a doctor is going to make you sicker.
No,
Don't you think?
No, because this is complicated.
Okay, Abed. Okay, wait. I think. Okay, can I just? I think is what you're saying. If you're in a healthy relationship and you try to go to couples therapy, you're telling the other person that you think they're doing a bad job. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you're basically telling the other person that the relationship's not working, but you're almost like passive aggressively saying that by going, we need therapy. It's like a nice way to say, hey, I don't think this is working out.
I think that can be a message that is sent if that happens. Yeah, for sure. And that can happen. I think there's probably circumstances when you can have a good relationship and be getting therapy and get good value out of it, and your relationship isn't in trouble. But I think in a situation like that, a lot of those people wouldn't go to therapy in the first place, right? They wouldn't feel the need to pay money when they don't have a problem. But I do think they could get help out of it. But I agree in general. I think, yeah, you're admitting that there's a problem. But usually if there's that big of a problem, then yeah, you do need help. But also, if there's a problem, then there's a decent chance that it's not a great relationship in the first place. So, it's all not, it's not perfect. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in this situation. But, I don't know. I'm just saying that it could be valid to have therapy without having a problem. But in general, a lot of people turn to therapy as a solution for a problem, and that's
We
valid.
need to do an episode, and it should be like the therapy episode, and it's me and you with Kevin as our therapist.
I
just
think we
analyze
should. I think we should go each get one therapy session where we each wearing a wire like taped to our chest, right? And then
That's
we
a
can
great
pull
idea.
clips of it. We go through and we each pull clips, and then we could talk about the clips on the podcast.
Yeah, but then the therapist is going to find out because I'm sure the therapist is a fan watching the show.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, part of the therapy.
Well, we could
is
just have them
watching
killed.
Huh?
We could just have the therapist killed before they do anything.
I mean, this where is this plan going? It's involving me murdering and going to jail, and all I wanted was to do a show about therapy.
Well, you were worried about them finding out. I mean, maybe they won't find out and they can live. It's fine.
Was I thinking that? I mean, look.
I don't think you were thinking of that. Mistress J writes, Kevin plus Spencer couples therapy. DeBroker writes, BetterHelp.com should sponsor. Man, people got mad at us for using BetterHelp because it had complaints at the Better Business Bureau as if that
Wait, you
means
got
something.
sponsors?
And no.
Oh.
Well, actually, I think we maybe did have a BetterHelp sponsorship for 5 seconds
I
at
can
some
never get
point.
them. I tried, but no one would respond.
We don't. I'll tell you this: we don't deserve sponsors, and when we had sponsors, we didn't deserve them, and we didn't get them through this. We got them through Starburns, who got them for other reasons, not because we deserve them.
Oh,
And we
'cause
don't
they
have
all
them
think
now.
Dan Harmon's still there.
More or less, yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I appreciate you bringing me on today because
Yeah, man.
even though I'm hanging out with these fine folks, we're still playing. My
I'm
God.
about to beat him though. I'm about to win.
What's your deck, Aaron?
She always wins. It's so unfair.
I'm just really smart. That's all.
No, it's the luck of the draw.
No, I'm so smart.
Luck of the draw.
Aaron is actually really good at magic. I don't know.
Well, yeah, and she's like brand new. Like me and Savon got her into it, and like, look what happened.
Yeah, look what happened.
Well, hey, so I was gonna plug something, but just to kind of wrap up, I am working on something very exciting, and I can't wait. It's gonna be.
Is that what you're plugging?
I've never done that thing. You know,
What?
like everything I've done has been a massive failure until this.
Huh.
So, and Kevin knows what I'm talking about. But
You have a secret thing that's not going to be a failure, and you're excited about it.
It's not going to be a failure because I've already failed at the other two things, so I learned my lesson.
Right.
So now I'm like, you know, it's like you're loading your gun with the bullets that aren't going to fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, going to shoot.
You're loading your gun with success.
I should
Yeah, you're going to shoot that therapist.
I'm going to kill my therapist.
That's why you don't need therapy, is because you're a danger to therapists.
I would be like Reggie Jackson in Naked Gun, like, I will kill the queen.
Exactly.
And I'll just be like walking towards the therapist. No, I mean, it's very interesting. It's like, because in this world that we're in with entertainment and none of us know where we're going in AI, it's like I have no idea how to sell a show or make money anymore. So this is a completely exciting venture that I hope will lead to better things, but we'll see. Because I don't want to get too excited about it, but I'll just say, like, I'm on cloud 9 since I started it. It's insane. It's like I teamed up with people, but it's like the solution that I've been looking for.
Yeah. Abed got BetterHelp, and you can get BetterHelp too with BetterHelp.com. All right.
This is not entertaining at all.
It's entertaining. It's Abed's Corner, and that's it for Abed's Corner. Do you have any final thoughts before we
Yes.
cruelly kick you off the stream?
Next week is my show at 2:30. I will have David Yao from the Jesus Lizard as my guest. We'll be live from the studio. Martin Olson will be there, and I'll be guest hosting with my friend Noah Durbin, who is in, what band is she in?
I don't know. Oh,
Squid Pisser. She is like
Squid
in the band
Pisser.
Squid Pisser with my buddy. Is it
I thought
Tommy?
she was in
Cancer Christ?
Cancer Christ.
Cancer Christ.
She's in the band Cancer Christ. Which band is it?
Cancer.
All right.
Cancer Christ.
Cancer
I should know that stuff. Tune in next week, 2:30 p.m.
Aaron won.
All right.
Aaron
Awesome.
won.
Aaron wins. All right, Kevin. Kick Abed. Bye, Abed.
Bye,
See ya,
guys.
Abed.
Thanks
We're
for having
kicking
me.
you. You're not going to leave. Kevin's going to kick you. Sorry. That's how it has to work, unfortunately.
That's fine.
You can't leave under your own power. I'm sorry, Abed, that we kicked you, but we had to. And that was Abed's Corner. More like Abed's side, am I right, folks? Just kidding, Abed. Thanks for calling in. This is the best fucking podcast in the world. Are there any other podcasts that make their picture look zoomed in every other several weeks or whatever? We're doing fucking things that you can't even dream of on this podcast. What other podcasts are talking about Madam Web and Glasgow Willy Wonka? This is one of a kind shit that's happening. What other fucking podcasts have people that are sad and have Abed on the podcast? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm the best person who's ever lived on the goddamn earth. And I had the best fucking cat, and she's dead. And fuck all of you. No one needs anything. I'm gonna die. My head's gonna explode from being too smart. Brian writes, I hope this message finds you well. I'm currently creating a new character for D&D. Over the past 5 years, the campaigns I've been engaged in have been very homebrewed, loose, and silly. We're going to do Curse of Strahd. It's going to be more serious. Level 2. I'm thinking about making a fighter who will become a Psi Warrior. I was curious if you had any idea on how to build an X-Men-like character who has inherent psychic powers. Any advice on how to mature beyond Harmontown level of playing? It's because of you. I got into D&D. Well, how you balance sincerity? You're the best. As always, thanks for indulging me. Love the podcast. Okay. I have a couple interesting thoughts. I think you can definitely just do Psi Warrior fighter. Inherent psychic powers. It depends on what psychic powers you want. because a mutant, X-Men mutant, that's like a power that doesn't fit neatly into D&D powers. It would be cool if there's like a D&D like system, and there probably is, that's like more like X-Men, where you have just like one quirky power that you get to define, and then you can get better at using it somehow. But it's not like how D&D works, where it's like you get a class and you get a feat and you get new spells and you get an ability and you get a different ability. It's like you have one thing and it just keeps getting better and better. I don't know. It's an interesting concept. Who knows if it's actually a fun gameplay though. But what I would think you should do or consider doing maybe is build a warlock that can get the packed blade. And the packed blade can be a psychic blade. So the warlock with the blade pact can summon a weapon and just make it appear and disappear at will. So you can say like, this is my psychic weapon. I make it out of psychic energy, like Psylocke. And that's my packed weapon. And so I have my Saya energy blade that I can conjure. And if you can, you might be able to do that at level 2. I can't remember if you can or not. But if you can get that by level 2, maybe think about doing that. And then from then just cross class into fighter and build up to be a Psy warrior. And then you have a couple other warlock abilities, and those can be, you can choose abilities that fit with whatever your psychic power is. So like, I don't know, if you took Eldritch Blast, then you're like kind of like Green Lantern or something, where you can shoot energy bursts, or you can make like this energy sword. And that's your X-Men power, is like this energy weaponry, So that is my first instinct. I don't think you'll necessarily have amazing stats for that. Like I think your stats pull in 2 different directions. But I think that if you stat it towards being a fighter and just have bad warlock stats, I think that still could be really interesting. I don't know how powerful that'll be, but it's an interesting idea, and you could get some good utility by using warlock utility abilities. That's a thought. Who knows? Otherwise, just doing a fighter is fine. You can talk to your DM and see if they'll let you conjure a psychic weapon instead of actually having a weapon. So you just use your weapon as normal, but instead of it being a weapon, you say, I summon it with psychic power, and your DM just lets you do that. That I bet your DM should let you do that if you want. That should work. Anyway, that's our show. You got anything, Kevin? We don't really got it. It's just normal shit tonight, right?
Yeah, just check out shophomevideo.com on Sundays and sign up for Spencer's Patreon.
Yeah, sign up for the Patreon and get in the credits. That's right. Kevin will put you in the credits. That's why you do the Patreon, not because I'm not doing the work and you don't get anything for the money. It's actually good in the credits, etc. Because the Patreon is good, and I'm doing good. No, I'm not going to say I'm good at doing the Patreon. That'd be insane. But I am good at doing the podcast, and that means that when it ends roughly on time. So until next time, Kevin. You know what to do.